Welcome to A Chapter a Day. Subscribe if you're ready to receive your abundance now. Right now, in this moment, abundance is available to you in ways you have never experienced before. Not later. Not someday. Not when you're ready. Now. You were not created to struggle your way through life. You were not designed to beg, chase, force, or prove your worth. You were designed to receive. And the reason you have not yet received the abundance you desire is not because you are unworthy. It is because you were never taught how to align with it. Abundance is not earned. It is allowed. It is received. Money, opportunities, love, health, influence, freedom. These are not rewards for exhaustion. They are reflections of alignment. This audiobook will show you the exact internal shifts required to receive more abundance than you ever have before. Not through hustle, not through burnout, not through fear, but through alignment, trust, identity, and vibration. You will learn to release force, rebuild trust, command your self-concept, rewire your subconscious, master your emotional state, expect miracles, because abundance responds to certainty. It responds to clarity. It responds to identity. By the end of this experience, you will not be hoping for abundance. You will expect it. You will not be chasing opportunities. You will become magnetic to them. You will not be asking, "Why not me?" You will declare, "Of course me." This is your turning point. This is your awakening. This is where receiving begins. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Decide that you are meant for more. Everything begins with a decision, not a plan, not a strategy, not a 5-year outline. A decision. Abundance begins the moment you decide that you are meant for more. Say it now, internally and clearly. I am meant for more. Not because you are lacking, not because something is broken, but because expansion is your nature. A tree does not apologize for growing. The ocean does not apologize for rising. The sun does not ask permission to shine. You are not here to shrink. You are here to expand. And expansion begins with a decision. I am meant for more. This is not ego. This is alignment. The moment you decide you are meant for more, your energy reorganizes. Your posture shifts. Your voice stabilizes. Your nervous system recalibrates. The subconscious listens for commands. It does not respond to hope. It responds to certainty. The subconscious follows conviction, not wishful thinking. When you say, "Maybe one day," it waits. When you say, "I think I can," it hesitates. When you say, "I am meant for more," it moves. People double their income after a decision. Not because the market changed overnight. Not because they suddenly worked 20 more hours a week. But because they no longer accept scarcity as their identity. They decide. They raise their minimum. They raise their standards. They raise their self-concept. And reality responds. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Because deciding you are meant for more is deciding you are available to receive more. Children understand this naturally. Take a child into a toy store. Take them into a grocery store. They do not whisper their desires. They do not calculate worthiness. They see something they love and they say, "I want that." There is no shame, no justification, no internal negotiation. They are driven by curiosity and excitement. They assume provision. They assume support. They assume goodness. They are open. Get out of the way. Get out of your mind. Open your energy field. Open your heart to just receive. Scarcity is learned. Limitation is practiced. Smallness is rehearsed. And what is rehearsed becomes habitual. Scarcity is a habit. It is a pattern of thought, a loop of language, a repeated emotional baseline. It sounds like, "That's too expensive. That's not realistic. People like me don't." But a habit can be broken in an instant. Not gradually. Not painfully. With a decision. I am meant for more. When that sentence lands, it interrupts the loop. It cuts through years of conditioning. It declares a new baseline. You are not trying to convince yourself. You are commanding your subconscious. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. Because when you decide you are meant for more, you are acknowledging something deeper. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. This is law-based. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. There is no shortage of energy. There is no shortage of ideas. There is no shortage of money. Money is energy moving, and Source does not categorize energy as rare. There was a moment, what some would call a quantum leap, when it became clear that there is no difference in frequency between someone spending $300 million on a painting and giving $300 million to charity. The energy is neutral. The frequency is the same. Source does not flinch, because there is always more. That neutrality is power. That neutrality is freedom. When you decide you are meant for more, you align with that neutrality. You stop treating abundance like a fragile resource. You start treating it like an infinite current. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. The decision shifts identity, and identity dictates behavior. When someone decides they are meant for more financially, they no longer tolerate underpayment. They negotiate differently. They speak differently. They walk into rooms differently. When someone decides they are meant for more in love, they stop entertaining half commitments. They stop shrinking their needs. When someone decides they are meant for more in health, they no longer identify as exhausted. They identify as strong. I am meant for more. This is not future tense. This is present identity. I am expansion. I am wealth. I am clarity. I am momentum. I am meant for more. The subconscious reorganizes around I am. It builds evidence. It filters opportunities. It shifts perception. Consider applying for a job. Two candidates submit identical resumes. One believes, I hope they choose me. The other knows, I am meant for this level. Energy communicates. Source works invisibly. It can inspire the hiring manager to look at one resume again. It can nudge a conversation. It can align timing. It can create a feeling of resonance that cannot be explained logically. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. When you decide you are meant for more, you stop micromanaging the how. You step into alignment and let intelligence coordinate details beyond your awareness. The same is true for elite universities, major contracts, breakthrough opportunities. Source can inspire an admissions officer to see a spark in your essay. It can move circumstances in ways you cannot calculate. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Decision precedes evidence. Athletes understand this. An athlete does not enter the field hoping for a moment. They expect it. They train for it. They know it is available. When they score the touchdown or make the slam dunk, they are not just celebrating points. They are experiencing unity. They are touching genius. They are merging with something greater. Artists feel it when the crowd sings every lyric back. It is not about the applause. It is about the moment. That moment is alignment. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. You are not chasing outcomes. You are deciding you are available for moments of magnificence. And once you decide, your actions become different. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. Force feels heavy. Decision feels clean. Scarcity pushes. Abundance allows. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receiving is not passive. It is powerful. It is poised. It is certain. It says, I am meant for more. I am available for more. I am aligned with more. And because you are dealing with limitless potential, you're dealing with limitless energy, there is no conflict in someone else receiving and you receiving. There is no competition in infinity. Scarcity is comparison. Abundance is expansion. Decision collapse is comparison. You stop asking, why them? You start declaring, me too. The habit of scarcity dissolves when you interrupt it daily. Each morning, I am meant for more. Each conversation, I am meant for more. Each opportunity, I am meant for more. This is not arrogance. It is alignment with growth. When you hold that decision long enough, your nervous system normalizes expansion. Bigger numbers stop feeling threatening. Bigger rooms stop feeling intimidating. Larger responsibilities stop feeling overwhelming. They feel natural. Because identity precedes capacity. You are not waiting to become worthy. You are recognizing worthiness. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. Let that stabilize you. There is no test to pass. There is no gate to beg at. There is alignment to embody. Get out of the way. Get out of your mind. Open your energy field. Open your heart to just receive. Decision is the doorway. The moment you decide, the universe reorganizes around clarity. The moment you decide, ambiguity dissolves. The moment you decide, scarcity loses authority. You are not fighting lack. You are stepping beyond it. You are meant for more. Say it again. I am meant for more. Feel the solidity of it. This is the foundation of everything that follows. Because without the decision, strategies collapse. Without the decision, habits return. Without the decision, doubt negotiates. But with the decision, identity stabilizes. And once identity stabilizes, behavior aligns. And once behavior aligns, results follow. You have now interrupted the habit of scarcity. You have declared expansion as your baseline. You have chosen to reopen yourself up to divine trust. This is the first step. This is the irreversible step. You are meant for more. You've made the decision. Now it's time to remove what blocks the flow of that decision. Chapter 2. Stop forcing. Start allowing. Force is tension. Allowance is power. You feel the difference immediately. Force tightens your jaw. Force speeds your breath. Force makes time feel scarce. Allowance steadies your body. Allowance expands your awareness. Allowance creates space. Forcing signals fear. Allowing signals trust. And abundance responds to trust. You already decided you are meant for more. Now you embody that decision by releasing the habit of force. You no longer grip outcomes. You no longer chase validation. You no longer try to bend reality with pressure. You stand grounded. You move intentionally. You trust deeply. Say it with clarity. I release force. I allow flow. Force comes from the belief that everything depends on you controlling every variable. It whispers that if you relax, everything will fall apart. It convinces you that tension equals responsibility. But tension is not responsibility. It is resistance. Many business owners discover this the hard way. They begin with vision and passion. As growth starts, fear enters quietly. They micromanage every detail. They overcorrect small mistakes. They monitor every metric hourly. They hover over employees. They tighten their grip. Growth slows. Creativity drops. Energy contracts. Then something shifts. They step back. They hire capable people. They delegate fully. They stop checking every email at midnight. They trust their team. Revenue expands. Innovation increases. The company breathes. When they stopped forcing, momentum returned. Effort does not equal alignment. Alignment multiplies effort. You can push a door that says pull for hours and call it hard work. Or you can pause, read the sign, and open it effortlessly. Force exhausts you. Alignment energizes you. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. That is the difference. Action still exists. Discipline still exists. Standards still exist. But they are clean. They are focused. They are inspired. They are not frantic. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. When you understand that supply is infinite, you stop acting like everything is scarce. You stop squeezing each opportunity as if it is the last drop of water in a desert. You move from sufficiency. You act from overflow. Force is rooted in the fear of missing out. Allowance is rooted in the certainty that what is yours cannot miss you. I release force. I allow flow. Feel the rhythm of that. Flow does not mean passivity. Flow means cooperation. A river does not force itself downstream. It moves because gravity supports it. It trusts the terrain. It adjusts around rocks. It continues forward without strain. That is how aligned action feels. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Trust does not eliminate movement. It purifies it. When you trust, you send the proposal without obsessing over the reply. You attend the meeting without rehearsing every possible rejection. You post your content without refreshing the screen for approval. You act. Then you release. Get out of the way. Get out of your mind. Open your energy field. Open your heart to just receive. Force is mental noise. Allowance is energetic clarity. Consider someone applying for a new role. In force, they refresh their email constantly. They replay the interview in their head. They analyze every word they said. Their body remains in tension for days. In allowance, they prepare fully. They show up powerfully. They express authentically. Then they detach. They trust that divine intelligence can influence unseen details. They understand that source can inspire the right person to look again, to feel resonance, to see value. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. Trust allows invisible support. Force assumes you are alone. Trust acknowledges partnership. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. When that belief anchors in your nervous system, urgency dissolves. You no longer rush decisions from panic. You choose from clarity. Force tries to prove worth. Allowance expresses worth. An athlete in force overthinks every movement. They grip the ball too tightly. They second-guess their instincts. Performance becomes mechanical. An athlete in flow enters the moment. Time slows down. Decisions feel automatic. Movement becomes art. They are not trying to create the moment. They are inside it. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. That is allowance. The same applies to artists. When they chase applause, creativity tightens. When they trust inspiration, genius arrives. You are not here to grind yourself into success. You are here to align with it. I release force. I allow flow. Say it again. I release force. I allow flow. Notice how your body softens when you say it. Force contracts opportunity because it broadcasts doubt. It signals that you do not believe support exists. It communicates urgency rooted in fear. Allowance expands opportunity because it signals certainty. It declares that you trust timing. It affirms that you are supported by limitless intelligence. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. There is no need to squeeze infinity. There is no need to rush eternity. When you allow, you become receptive. And abundance requires receptivity. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receivers do not chase the ball across the entire field. They run their route. They stay present. They trust the quarterback to see them. You run your route. You stay ready. You remain open. I am calm. I am supported. I am aligned. I am available. Force says, it's all on me. Allowance says, I am co-creating with intelligence greater than my current awareness. When you operate from allowance, synchronicities increase. Conversations align. Doors open with less friction. The right ideas surface at the right time. Because you are no longer clogging the channel with fear. You are open. Get out of the way. Get out of your mind. Open your energy field. open your heart to just receive. Force is an old survival strategy. Allowance is a conscious choice. It is strength without rigidity, movement without panic, ambition without anxiety. You still show up early. You still prepare thoroughly. You still act decisively. But your nervous system remains steady. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. That sentence becomes your calibration tool. If it feels strained, you pause and realign. If it feels frantic, you breathe and reset. If it feels desperate, you return to trust. Effort does not equal alignment. Alignment multiplies effort. One aligned conversation can outperform months of scattered hustle. One aligned idea can create exponential growth. One aligned decision can change your financial trajectory permanently. Because alignment connects you to power, and power flows through trust. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Trust is not naive. Trust is intelligent. Trust is grounded in the understanding that you are supported by something far greater than visible circumstances. I release force. I allow flow. This is how you embody the decision from Chapter 1. You decided you are meant for more. Now you stop strangling the pathway to it. You relax your grip. You expand your breath. You trust the unseen. Abundance moves toward open channels. And you are becoming one. You have released force. Now you are ready to elevate your identity so deeply that flow becomes natural. Chapter 3. Rebuild your self-concept. Desire is powerful. Identity is decisive. You do not receive what you want. You receive what matches who you believe you are. This is law. You can visualize wealth all day. You can write goals every morning. You can repeat affirmations every night. But if your internal identity says, I am the one who struggles, your reality will reflect struggle. If your internal identity says, I am the one who leads, opportunities to lead will find you. Identity is the filter. Identity is the thermostat. Identity is the baseline frequency that your life calibrates to. Say it clearly. This is who I am now. Self-concept is not ego. It is internal definition. It is the quiet narrative that runs beneath your words. It is the subconscious instruction set that determines what feels normal. What feels normal is what manifests. If chaos feels normal, peace feels unfamiliar. If under-earning feels normal, overflow feels unsafe. If being overlooked feels normal, recognition feels uncomfortable. Your nervous system will always try to return you to what feels familiar. So you rebuild what feels familiar. You do not receive what you want. You receive what matches your identity. Consider the employee who always had entrepreneurial ideas. They talked about starting a business. They read books. They attended seminars. They dreamed of independence. Yet they remained in the same position for years. Why? Because internally, they still saw themselves as an employee. They saw themselves as someone who executed instructions, not someone who created direction. Then something shifted. They stopped saying, I want to start a business. They started saying, I am a leader. They began making decisions differently. They took ownership in meetings. They spoke with authority. They managed projects with initiative. They stopped waiting for permission. Eventually, they launched. And it worked. Not because the market suddenly changed. Because their identity changed. This is who I am now. When identity upgrades, behavior follows automatically. You no longer force confidence. You express it. You no longer chase authority. You embody it. You no longer beg for validation. You expect respect. Self-concept determines what you tolerate. If you identify as someone who is overlooked, you will unconsciously accept being ignored. If you identify as someone who is valuable, you will not remain in rooms that do not recognize you. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. That truth reshapes identity at the core. You are not trying to become worthy. You are recognizing inherent worth. You are not earning space. You are claiming it. This is who I am now. The subconscious does not argue with repetition. It obeys consistent instruction. If you continually identify as stressed, you will create scenarios that justify stress. If you continually identify as prosperous, you will notice opportunities others overlook. Because you are dealing with limitless potential, you're dealing with limitless energy. There is no shortage of roles to play. There is no scarcity of influence. There is no finite supply of success. The only question is, who are you being? Self-concept shapes posture. It shapes tone. It shapes decisions. It shapes relationships. It shapes income. It shapes health. It shapes your entire experience. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Trust allows you to assume a higher identity before evidence confirms it. You step into the room as the version of you who already belongs there. You introduce yourself internally as the version who already leads. You speak as the version who already creates impact. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. That frequency is identity-driven. An athlete does not perform at championship level by wishing to win. They perform at that level because they identify as champions long before the trophy is in their hands. An artist does not step on stage hoping to be accepted. They step on stage knowing they are the performance. Identity precedes performance. You rebuild self-concept deliberately. You choose new language. Instead of saying, "I'm bad with money," you declare, "I am financially intelligent." Instead of saying, "I'm shy," you declare, "I am composed and observant." Instead of saying, "I never finish what I start," you declare, "I complete what I commit to." This is who I am now. You are not lying. You are selecting. Identity is chosen. Many people think identity is fixed. It is not. It is conditioned. And conditioning can be rewritten. Get out of the way. Get out of your mind. Open your energy field. Open your heart to just receive. Receiving requires congruence. If you receive praise but internally identify as inadequate, you will deflect it. If you receive opportunity but internally identify as unprepared, you will sabotage it. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receiving begins with believing you are the kind of person who naturally experiences expansion. When you walk into a negotiation as someone who sees themselves as high value, you negotiate differently. When you approach relationships as someone who sees themselves as emotionally secure, you communicate differently. Identity stabilizes behavior. Behavior creates evidence. Evidence reinforces identity. This cycle can work in your favor. You do not wait for evidence to upgrade identity. You upgrade identity and allow evidence to follow. This is who I am now. Say it when you wake up. Say it before meetings. Say it before conversations. Say it when doubt whispers. The former version of you served a purpose. It navigated previous seasons. It learned necessary lessons. But you are not confined to that version. You are expansion. I am capable. I am disciplined. I am magnetic. I am decisive. I am abundant. Each "I am" statement instructs the subconscious. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. Trust that stepping into a higher identity will not isolate you. Trust that expansion will not disconnect you from your roots. Trust that elevation is safe. Force tries to manufacture results. Identity allows results. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. That happens when action aligns with self-concept. If you identify as someone powerful, bold decisions feel natural. If you identify as someone creative, new ideas flow easily. If you identify as someone abundant, wealth feels familiar. You are not chasing success. You are becoming someone for whom success is normal. You are not hunting opportunity. You are embodying the kind of person opportunity seeks. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. There is no ceiling except the one defined by identity. When identity expands, the ceiling dissolves. This is who I am now. Feel the authority in that statement. It is calm. It is grounded. It is certain. You have decided you are meant for more. You have released force and embraced flow. Now you have reconstructed the internal architecture that supports abundance. Identity is stabilized. And when identity stabilizes, trust becomes easier. You are ready to deepen that trust beyond what you can see. Chapter 4. Trust the invisible before it appears. The unseen moves first. The visible follows. This is the order. Faith precedes evidence. Always. Every structure begins as a blueprint. Every invention begins as a thought. Every transformation begins as a decision no one else can see. You are not waiting for proof. You are generating it internally. Say it with certainty. It is already working for me. Before the contract is signed. Before the email arrives. Before the account reflects the increase. It is already working for me. Trusting the invisible is not fantasy. It is alignment with how creation actually functions. Energy organizes before matter rearranges. Intention stabilizes before opportunity materializes. Most people reverse the process. They say, "Once I see it, I'll believe it." That stance delays everything. Because belief is the signal. Belief is the permission slip. Belief is the instruction to the subconscious and to the field of limitless intelligence surrounding you. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. The invisible realm is not empty space. It is active intelligence. It is coordination beyond your sensory perception. It is momentum forming before your eyes can register it. It is already working for me. Athletes understand this at an elite level. Before stepping onto the field, they see the play in their mind. They feel the movement. They hear the crowd. They sense the timing. Their nervous system rehearses victory long before the whistle blows. Visualization is not daydreaming. It is neurological conditioning. The brain does not sharply distinguish between vividly imagined experience and physical repetition. When an athlete sees the shot land thousands of times internally, the body performs with confidence externally. They trust the unseen rehearsal. They embody the outcome before it happens. That is faith in motion. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. That openness allows instinct to take over. It allows training to express itself without interference. It allows timing to feel precise rather than forced. When you trust the invisible, you remove hesitation. You act from certainty instead of anxiety. You send the message because you know alignment is active. You invest in yourself because you know expansion is unfolding. You prepare for opportunity because you expect it. It is already working for me. Faith does not require you to understand every mechanism. It requires you to accept that mechanisms exist beyond your awareness. Consider the process of applying for a position that seems slightly above your current experience. Logic might say the competition is strong. Statistics might say the odds are narrow. Faith says alignment overrides probability. You submit the application grounded. You prepare with excellence. You release attachment. You trust that invisible intelligence can influence perception in rooms you will never enter physically. An interviewer may feel something intangible. A hiring manager may review your file one more time. A conversation may shift in your favor. You cannot orchestrate these details consciously, but you can trust that orchestration is possible. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. Trust that timing is precise. Trust that redirection is protection. Trust that delay is preparation. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Trust dissolves panic. When you panic, you attempt to accelerate outcomes. You try to manipulate timing. You flood situations with nervous energy. When you trust, you move steadily. You stay available. You remain responsive without becoming reactive. It is already working for me. This phrase recalibrates your nervous system. It shifts you from scarcity to sufficiency. It anchors you in inevitability. Children demonstrate this naturally. They ask for something with full expectation. They do not strategize supply chains. They do not calculate logistics. They assume provision. They trust. That trust is not naive. It is open. Get out of the way. Get out of your mind. Open your energy field. Open your heart to just receive. The invisible begins to move when resistance quiets. You do not need to see the roots growing beneath the soil to know the tree is developing. Growth occurs in darkness first. Progress happens underground before it becomes visible above the surface. You may not see immediate evidence of change. You may not see instant results. But the shift has begun. Because you decided. Because you released force. Because you rebuilt identity. Now you trust. It is already working for me. Even when the bank balance has not yet shifted. Even when the relationship has not yet manifested. Even when the recognition has not yet arrived. It is already working for me. Faith is not passive waiting. Faith is grounded participation. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. You still act. You still refine. You still improve. But your actions are not fueled by fear. They are fueled by expectation. Expectation creates composure. Composure enhances clarity. Clarity increases precision. Precision accelerates outcomes. You are not begging the universe. You are cooperating with intelligence. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. That truth removes urgency rooted in doubt. If something falls away, you trust replacement. If something delays, you trust refinement. If something closes, you trust redirection. Faith precedes evidence. Always. The evidence you seek is responding to the faith you cultivate. Imagine planting seeds and digging them up daily to check progress. That interruption delays growth. Trust allows roots to strengthen without interference. Your job is planting and nurturing. The invisible handles expansion. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receiving requires confidence in unseen preparation. It requires patience rooted in certainty. It requires emotional steadiness when external confirmation has not yet arrived. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. There is no shortage of pathways. There is no scarcity of solutions. There is no absence of support. It is already working for me. This becomes your internal soundtrack. When doubt whispers, you respond with certainty. When fear attempts to accelerate you into force, you return to trust. When comparison tempts you to question timing, you anchor in inevitability. You are not behind. You are unfolding. You are not late. You are aligned. Trusting the invisible strengthens resilience. It stabilizes your emotions. It deepens your focus. It makes you magnetic rather than desperate. And magnetism attracts. You have established identity. Now you solidify faith. You trust before you see. You believe before you touch. You expect before you measure. It is already working for me. This is how you step into unstoppable alignment. Now that you trust what is unseen, you are ready to elevate the standards that define what you allow into your reality. Chapter 5. Upgrade your standards immediately. Standards shape reality. Needs chase it. Abundance responds to standards, not needs. Need carries urgency. Need carries fear. Need negotiates downward. Standards declare stability. Standards declare clarity. Standards declare worth. When you operate from need, you accept what barely satisfies survival. When you operate from standards, you align with what reflects your value. Say it with authority. This is my new normal. Standards are not wishes. They are non-negotiable baselines. They are the energetic floor beneath your life. They define what you accept, what you decline, what you tolerate, and what you celebrate. If your internal baseline is low, you will repeatedly experience low-level results. If your baseline rises, your external world adjusts to meet it. Abundance responds to standards because standards communicate identity. You already decided you are meant for more. You stopped forcing outcomes. You learned to trust the invisible. Now you codify that trust through elevated standards. Consider finances. An entrepreneur charging far below their capacity often justifies it with logic. I'm building. I need testimonials. I don't want to scare clients away. Beneath those statements lives one belief. I must accept less to survive. Then something shifts. They decide on a new minimum. Not emotionally, not randomly, but intentionally. They raise their prices. They adjust their offers. They refine their positioning. They stop discounting reflexively. At first, fear whispers. But something surprising happens. Clients match the standard. New clients arrive who expect that level. Conversations shift. Payment feels cleaner. Negotiations feel shorter. Why? Because standards filter. You do not attract what you beg for. You attract what you normalize. This is my new normal. When your nervous system adapts to higher numbers stop feeling extraordinary. They become baseline. When your self-concept stabilizes at a new level, your decisions support that level automatically. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. There is no cosmic rule limiting your expansion except the ceiling you unconsciously maintain. Needs say, I hope this works. Standards say, this is the level I operate at. One feels unstable. The other feels grounded. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Trust allows you to raise standards without panic. It allows you to say no without fear of emptiness. It allows you to hold boundaries without apology. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. If that is true, then raising your standard is cooperation, not arrogance. In relationships, standards determine experience. If you tolerate inconsistency, you will experience inconsistency. If you require respect, you will either receive it or remove yourself. This is my new normal. In health, standards determine vitality. If exhaustion is accepted as typical, energy remains low. If strength becomes the baseline, behavior aligns with nourishment, rest, and discipline. Standards remove internal debate. They eliminate repetitive decision fatigue. They clarify direction. Abundance responds to clarity. Needs broadcast scarcity. They imply that resources are limited and time is running out. Standards communicate sufficiency. They imply that you are choosing from overflow. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receiving at a higher level requires comfort at a higher level. If large opportunities feel foreign, you will unconsciously shrink them. When large opportunities feel familiar, you step into them calmly. This is my new normal. You adjust your language. Instead of saying, I'll take whatever I can get, you say, I choose what aligns. Instead of saying, I hope they accept, you say, we are evaluating mutual fit. Instead of saying, I can't afford that, you say, I'm expanding into that. Language reflects standard. Standard reflects identity. Identity dictates results. Get out of the way, get out of your mind, open your energy field, open your heart to just receive. Receiving more requires believing more is appropriate. When you upgrade your standards, some doors close. That is alignment, not loss. Lower-level opportunities fall away because they no longer match your frequency. That space creates room for higher-level alignment. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. Trust that raising your standards will not create emptiness. Trust that it will create precision. When you elevate your minimum income expectation, your subconscious begins scanning for ideas that match it. You notice collaborations you once overlooked. You explore solutions you once dismissed. Your creativity expands because the target expanded. Alignment multiplies effort. One decisive standard can generate momentum that years of scattered hustle never produced. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. Purposeful action anchored in high standards feels clean. It feels intentional. It feels inevitable. You are not demanding from the world. You are defining yourself to the world. Athletes who compete at elite levels maintain rigorous standards in training. They do not practice casually and expect championship outcomes. Their daily discipline reflects their competitive identity. Artists who perform at mastery level hold uncompromising standards in rehearsal. They refine details. They protect creative energy. They do not settle for average expression. Standards create excellence. Excellence attracts abundance. This is my new normal. Repeat it internally until it stabilizes. Higher conversations, higher compensation, higher discipline, higher clarity, higher integrity. This is my new normal. You are not waiting for life to upgrade itself. You are upgrading your baseline first. Abundance meets you at the level you accept. If you accept mediocrity, mediocrity repeats. If you accept greatness, greatness calibrates toward you. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. There is no strain in elevating. There is only adjustment. Each time you refuse to negotiate downward, your identity strengthens. Each time you maintain composure while holding a higher standard, your nervous system adapts to expansion. Needs create urgency. Standards create stability. Stability attracts growth. This is my new normal. Feel the authority in that declaration. It is calm. It is confident. It is resolved. You have decided you are meant for more. You have stopped forcing and started allowing. You have rebuilt your self-concept. You have learned to trust the invisible. Now you have raised the floor of your existence. With elevated standards in place, you are ready to master the internal engine that fuels all of it, your emotional state. Chapter 6. Master your emotional state. Emotion is the magnet. Thought directs. Action moves. Emotion attracts. Your dominant feeling dictates your results. Not the emotion you visit occasionally. The emotion you live in daily. The emotional baseline you carry into rooms. The emotional tone behind your voice. The emotional atmosphere you rehearse internally. That is what organizes your outcomes. Say it with ownership. I choose my state. Most people believe their emotions are reactions. They think circumstances create feelings. They think results generate confidence. They think external success produces internal peace. This reverses the law. Your state precedes your results. If you live in frustration, you attract more reasons to justify frustration. If you live in appreciation, you notice opportunities others overlook. Emotion is frequency. Frequency communicates without words. When you walk into a conversation grounded and calm, the room adjusts. When you approach opportunity with enthusiasm, doors open differently. I choose my state. This is power. This is responsibility. This is creative authority. You have already decided you are meant for more. You have released force. You have rebuilt identity. You have raised your standards. Now you stabilize the internal atmosphere that makes abundance natural. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to recalibrate emotional frequency. Not forced gratitude. Not superficial positivity. Grounded appreciation. There are countless examples of individuals who committed to a daily gratitude practice and witnessed unexpected financial breakthroughs. They began writing down specific things they appreciated each morning. They described them vividly. They felt them fully. Within weeks, conversations shifted. Opportunities emerged. Ideas surfaced. Unexpected checks arrived. Promotions materialized. Was gratitude a magic trick? No. Gratitude adjusted their state. Gratitude dissolves scarcity. Scarcity fixates on what is missing. Gratitude amplifies what is present. When your attention shifts, your perception shifts. When perception shifts, decisions shift. When decisions shift, results follow. Emotion is the magnet. If you feel deprived, you make decisions from contraction. If you feel abundant, you make decisions from expansion. I choose my state. You are not suppressing emotions. You are directing them. You acknowledge fear without living in it. You notice doubt without feeding it. You observe frustration without embodying it. You return to your chosen state deliberately. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. When you understand that supply is infinite, gratitude becomes logical. Appreciation becomes natural. Excitement becomes sustainable. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. That belief generates relief. Relief opens the channel. Get out of the way. Get out of your mind. Open your energy field. Open your heart to just receive. Receiving requires openness. Openness requires emotional stability. If your inner world is chaotic, abundance feels unsafe. If your inner world is steady, abundance feels compatible. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Trust creates peace. Peace creates clarity. Clarity enhances execution. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. That sensation emerges when your emotional state aligns with your intention. Consider two people launching the same project. One operates from anxiety. They rush decisions. They second-guess pricing. They monitor feedback obsessively. The other operates from enthusiasm. They refine calmly. They adjust strategically. They remain composed when obstacles arise. The second person attracts collaboration and momentum because their emotional frequency is inviting rather than desperate. Emotion is contagious. You transmit your state before you speak. I choose my state. This statement interrupts reactive patterns. When disappointment appears, you pause. You breathe. You realign. You choose empowerment over discouragement. You choose curiosity over criticism. You choose gratitude over comparison. This is not denial. It is direction. Athletes train their emotional state as rigorously as their bodies. Before a championship performance, they regulate breath. They visualize success. They anchor confidence. They enter the arena emotionally prepared. Artists do the same before stepping on stage. They cultivate presence. They focus attention. They tune into inspiration. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. That frequency is emotional mastery. If your dominant feeling is excitement, creativity expands. If your dominant feeling is resentment, perspective narrows. Emotion either widens or restricts possibility. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. Trust softens anxiety. Trust quiets urgency. Trust stabilizes your emotional baseline. Imagine waking each morning and choosing appreciation before touching your phone. Imagine beginning meetings from grounded confidence. Imagine responding to challenges with calm curiosity instead of irritation. These micro-choices compound. They create a consistent state. And consistency builds magnetism. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receivers are emotionally available. They are not armored by cynicism. They are not guarded by chronic skepticism. They are open to goodness. When you consistently choose gratitude, you begin noticing financial opportunities where others see inconvenience. You recognize connections where others see strangers. You see expansion where others see risk. Emotion filters perception. Perception influences action. Action produces outcome. I choose my state, even when circumstances appear neutral, even when results are still forming, even when others react differently. You are not controlled by external weather. You generate internal climate. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. There is no emotional ceiling unless you impose one. Gratitude elevates. Confidence stabilizes. Excitement accelerates. Peace strengthens. You select your baseline intentionally. When your dominant emotion becomes expectation instead of anxiety, your life reorganizes around possibility. When your dominant emotion becomes appreciation instead of lack, wealth feels natural. When your dominant emotion becomes certainty instead of doubt, action feels aligned. I choose my state. That is creative authority in motion. You have decided you are meant for more. You have stopped forcing. You have rebuilt identity. You have trusted the invisible. You have raised your standards. Now you command the internal magnet that draws everything toward you. With emotional mastery established, you are prepared to release the final attachments to your former self. Chapter 7. Let go of the old identity. Expansion requires release. Elevation requires separation. You cannot carry scarcity into abundance. You cannot hold a limited self-image and expect unlimited results. Growth demands subtraction before multiplication. Say it with certainty. That version of me is gone. Not rejected. Not hated. Released. The old identity served a purpose. It helped you survive. It helped you adapt. It helped you navigate previous seasons. But survival mode is not abundance mode. Scarcity thinks in defense. Abundance thinks in creation. Scarcity anticipates loss. Abundance anticipates growth. Scarcity clings to stories. Abundance writes new ones. You cannot carry scarcity into abundance. This is not about denying your past. It is about refusing to relive it as your present identity. One of the most powerful transformations occurs when someone releases a victim narrative. The story might sound like this. I never had support. People always overlook me. Nothing works out for me. I've had to fight for everything. Those statements may have once reflected real experiences. But when they become identity, they become magnets for repetition. The moment someone decides, I am no longer the person this always happens to, their life accelerates. Opportunities appear. Relationships improve. Income increases. Energy stabilizes. Not because the world suddenly changed, because the lens changed. That version of me is gone. Victim identity seeks validation through struggle. Empowered identity seeks expansion through responsibility. Responsibility is not blame. Responsibility is creative authority. When you release the narrative that life is happening to you, you reclaim the power to shape it. You have already decided you are meant for more. You stopped forcing. You rebuilt your self-concept. You learned to trust the unseen. You upgraded your standards. You mastered your emotional state. Now you clear the residue of who you no longer are. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. Scarcity identity cannot interpret limitless potential. It filters everything through limitation. It sees obstacles where there are openings. It sees competition where there is collaboration. Abundance identity sees differently. To embody abundance, you must detach from the identity that rehearses limitation. That version of me is gone. This may require releasing labels. I'm bad with money. I'm always anxious. I'm not the leadership type. I'm the quiet one. I'm the one who struggles. These statements feel familiar. Familiar does not mean permanent. Identity is practiced, and practice can change. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Trust that releasing an old identity will not erase you. Trust that letting go will not create emptiness. Trust that expansion is safe. Get out of the way, get out of your mind, open your energy field, open your heart to just receive. Scarcity identity resists receiving because it expects loss. It braces for disappointment. It scans for what could go wrong. Abundance identity expects support. It anticipates growth. It scans for alignment. If you continue to introduce yourself internally as the person who always struggles, your nervous system will seek familiarity in struggle. When you declare, "That version of me is gone," you interrupt the cycle. This is decisive. This is clean. This is final. Imagine someone who grew up with financial instability. They internalized unpredictability as normal. As an adult, even when income increased, they sabotaged savings. They overspent. They made chaotic investments. Not because they lacked intelligence, because chaos felt familiar. The shift occurred when they consciously released the identity of financially unstable. They began identifying as disciplined. They automated savings. They tracked expenses calmly. They studied investing with curiosity instead of fear. Within a short period, stability replaced volatility. That version of me is gone. Letting go does not require dramatic ceremony. It requires consistent refusal. When old thought patterns arise, you do not entertain them. When past narratives attempt to reintroduce themselves, you decline. You respond with identity. I am stable. I am powerful. I am expanding. I am supported. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. That belief makes it easier to release identities rooted in deprivation. Scarcity identity believes abundance must be earned through suffering. Abundance identity understands alignment creates flow. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. Trust that you are not betraying your past by outgrowing it. Trust that you are not abandoning your roots by expanding beyond them. Trust that your growth creates permission for others. Athletes release old performance narratives constantly. A missed shot does not define the next game. A previous loss does not determine the next season. Artists evolve beyond early work. They do not cling to outdated expressions out of fear. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. That openness requires freedom from past limitation. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. Momentum increases when identity is clean. There is no internal contradiction. There is no subconscious sabotage. There is no loyalty to struggle. You cannot carry scarcity into abundance. Scarcity identity says, I have to fight. Abundance identity says, I align and move. Scarcity identity says, it never lasts. Abundance identity says, growth is sustainable. Scarcity identity says, people like me don't. Abundance identity says, why not me? Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receiving requires self-permission. If you secretly believe you are not the kind of person who experiences overflow, you will deflect it when it arrives. Letting go of the old identity is permission. Permission to earn more. Permission to love deeply. Permission to lead boldly. Permission to rest without guilt. Permission to expand without apology. That version of me is gone. Feel the relief in that statement. No more rehearsing the same limitations. No more narrating the same obstacles. No more introducing yourself through past pain. You are not defined by what happened. You are defined by who you choose to be now. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. There is no cosmic record keeping that requires you to remain small. There is only alignment. As long as you hold on to scarcity identity, abundance will feel unnatural. When you release it, abundance feels compatible. You decided you are meant for more. Now you have removed the final attachment to less. The space you create by letting go becomes fertile ground for new expression. Identity is cleared. The path is open. Now you are ready to consciously program the language that reinforces your new reality. Chapter 8. Speak abundance into existence. Language is creative power. Words are not casual. Words instruct the subconscious. Every sentence you repeat becomes a command. Every phrase you rehearse becomes a belief. Every belief becomes a filter. Every filter shapes perception. Every perception influences behavior. Every behavior produces results. This is not poetic. This is neurological. This is energetic. Speak carelessly and you program limitation. Speak intentionally and you program expansion. Money flows to me easily. Say it calmly. Say it without tension. Say it as a statement of alignment. The subconscious does not evaluate truth the way the conscious mind does. It absorbs repetition. It accepts emotional intensity. It executes instruction. If you consistently say, "I'm always broke," your subconscious begins scanning for evidence to confirm that identity. It influences your decisions subtly. It steers you toward familiar outcomes. It reinforces the narrative. If you consistently say, "Money flows to me easily," your subconscious begins searching for pathways to validate that declaration. This is not fantasy. It is focus. Consider a simple shift many people have made, eliminating the phrase, "I can't afford it." At first, it feels harmless. It sounds practical. It seems responsible. But beneath it lies a deeper instruction. I do not have access. I am separate from supply. I am limited. When individuals consciously stopped using that phrase, something changed. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," they began saying, "How can I afford it?" or "I'm expanding into that level." The shift appears subtle. It is not subtle to the subconscious. One statement closes possibility. The other opens it. Within months, new ideas surfaced. Additional income streams appeared. Unexpected raises occurred. Creative solutions emerged. Why? Because their language stopped reinforcing limitation. Money flows to me easily. This statement relaxes the nervous system around wealth. It removes struggle from the equation. It aligns income with flow instead of force. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. Money is a form of energy exchange. When you speak about it with contraction, you constrict its movement. When you speak about it with openness, you invite circulation. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. If that is true, then your words must match that truth. You cannot declare trust while speaking doubt. You cannot expect overflow while rehearsing scarcity. Words program identity. Identity shapes expectation. Expectation influences behavior. Behavior determines outcome. Money flows to me easily. Notice how different that feels from, "Money is hard to make." One phrase expands. The other tightens. Get out of the way. Get out of your mind. Open your energy field. Open your heart to just receive. Language can either block receiving or accelerate it. When you say, "Nothing ever works out for me," you close the channel. When you say, "Things are always aligning in my favor," you open it. This is not about ignoring challenges. It is about refusing to build identity around them. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Trust is reflected in speech. If you trust, your language becomes steady. You stop dramatizing temporary setbacks. You stop labeling delays as failures. You stop declaring permanence over passing circumstances. Instead of saying, "This is a disaster," you say, "This is refining me." Instead of saying, "I'm overwhelmed," you say, "I'm prioritizing." Instead of saying, "I'll never figure this out," you say, "Solutions are revealing themselves." Money flows to me easily. This phrase is not about magical thinking. It is about energetic positioning. Athletes use language to prime performance. Before competition, they speak confidence. They do not say, "I hope I don't fail." They say, "I'm ready." Their words activate belief. Belief enhances execution. Artists speak about their craft with reverence. They declare inspiration. They expect creative flow. Their language creates internal permission for genius. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. That frequency is reinforced by words. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. Language either fuels force or supports flow. If you constantly say, "I have to grind," your body braces. If you say, "I move with aligned momentum," your body relaxes. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receivers speak from openness. They accept compliments fully. They say, "Thank you," without deflection. They allow appreciation to land. They allow support to register. If someone offers help and you respond with, "No, I'm fine, I don't need anything," when you actually do, you program independence rooted in scarcity. If someone offers opportunity and you respond with gratitude and readiness, you program expansion. Money flows to me easily. Let that statement normalize wealth. You have to reopen yourself up to divine trust. Trust that speaking abundance does not invite loss. Trust that declaring ease does not create laziness. Trust that aligning language with growth accelerates it. Your internal dialogue matters even more than your external speech. The words you whisper to yourself in private carry weight. Notice how you narrate your day. Do you say, "I'm exhausted," or "I'm investing energy wisely"? Do you say, "This is too much," or "I'm expanding capacity"? Language frames experience. Experience reinforces belief. Belief stabilizes identity. You are not lying to yourself when you speak abundance. You are selecting a narrative aligned with limitless potential. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. There is no shortage of creative pathways for income. There is no cap on innovation. There is no restriction on expansion except the one repeated in speech. Money flows to me easily. Say it when paying bills. Say it when investing. Say it when receiving. Say it when planning. Let it become normal. The subconscious thrives on repetition. Consistency transforms language into conviction. Conviction transforms behavior. Behavior transforms results. You decided you are meant for more. You stopped forcing. You rebuilt identity. You trusted the invisible. You upgraded your standards. You mastered your emotional state. You released the old version of yourself. Now you align your speech with your expansion. Your words are no longer accidental. They are intentional. They are aligned. They are abundant. With your language now calibrated to wealth, you are ready to anchor certainty so deeply that doubt no longer disrupts momentum. Chapter 9. Build unshakable certainty. Certainty is the engine of manifestation. It moves first. It moves before evidence. It moves before results appear. When certainty is present, doubt dissolves. When certainty is present, hesitation vanishes. When certainty is present, momentum becomes unstoppable. Say it with conviction. It is inevitable. Certainty bends probability. It recalibrates the field around you. It adjusts the responses of the people you encounter. It aligns circumstances that previously seemed random. Many entrepreneurs succeed without initial proof. They begin projects with zero guarantee. They invest time, money, and energy before the outcome is visible. They do not wait for validation. They do not wait for assurance. They trust that alignment will deliver results. It is inevitable. The subconscious mirrors certainty. When you embody certainty, your behavior changes automatically. Your posture adjusts. Your tone shifts. Your energy communicates authority. Others respond without needing explanation. It is inevitable. Certainty is not stubbornness. It is clarity. It is alignment. It is knowing that the unseen is already working in your favor. Athletes understand certainty. Before a game-winning shot, they do not say, "Maybe I'll make it." They say, "It is inevitable." They see it. They feel it. They anticipate it. Their actions reflect that internal assurance. Artists, too, perform with certainty. Before stepping on stage, they know their brilliance will manifest. They do not second-guess. They do not question. They expect the response to match their frequency. It is inevitable. This certainty transforms the mundane into opportunity. A conversation that might seem casual can suddenly unlock insight. An encounter that seems ordinary can lead to a breakthrough. Certainty magnetizes the invisible, accelerating alignment. I am capable. I am worthy. I am aligned with limitless energy. It is inevitable. Certainty is cultivated. It is strengthened through repeated demonstration. Each time you act despite incomplete information, certainty deepens. Each time you proceed without forcing, certainty grows. Each time you trust invisible guidance, certainty expands. It is inevitable. Consider the entrepreneur who launched without capital, without a network, without a roadmap. Most would have waited for perfect timing, perfect conditions, or perfect proof. This individual acted from certainty. They did not have all the answers. They did not see all the paths. Yet doors opened in ways that logic could not explain. It is inevitable. Your certainty signals confidence to the universe. It informs your nervous system. It stabilizes your emotional state. It filters your perception. It dictates your actions. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. When you are certain, you do not flinch in the face of obstacles. You see obstacles as temporary patterns to navigate, not permanent barriers. You see resistance as guidance rather than punishment. You see delay as refinement rather than denial. It is inevitable. You cannot combine doubt and expansion. You cannot advance with hesitation and expect alignment. Every act of uncertainty introduces friction into your momentum. Every act of unwavering certainty lubricates the path. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Trust strengthens certainty. Trust quiets panic. Trust stabilizes expectations. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. That frequency is certainty in motion. It communicates before words are spoken. It invites the correct people, the correct situations, the correct timing. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receivers act with confidence even before confirmation. They allow synchronicity to manifest without interference. They embrace uncertainty because they operate from certainty. It is inevitable. You anchor certainty by repeating aligned phrases. You stabilize certainty by observing evidence only as reinforcement, not validation. You expand certainty by taking decisive action regardless of outcome. Imagine a new opportunity arises. Instead of questioning whether it will succeed, you respond. It is inevitable. You step forward. You act decisively. You align internally. The external world bends to match. This is not blind optimism. This is not reckless faith. This is precise alignment with the way energy responds. It is law-based. It is non-negotiable. It is grounded in inevitability. You are no longer negotiating for outcomes. You are embodying them. You are radiating them. You are acting as if they are already present. It is inevitable. Every step you take in alignment reinforces certainty. Every choice made from a stable state amplifies it. Every moment you refuse to doubt entrenches it deeper into identity. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. When you anchor certainty at this level, the world responds without effort. People, opportunities, and resources move toward you naturally. Barriers dissolve. Paths reveal themselves. Momentum becomes automatic. It is inevitable. Your certainty is a lighthouse. It guides energy. It directs opportunity. It instructs the universe about what to deliver. I am aligned. I am powerful. I am expansive. It is inevitable. You have decided you are meant for more. You have released force. You have rebuilt identity. You have trusted the invisible. You have elevated your standards. You have mastered your emotional state. You have let go of the old identity. You have spoken abundance into existence. Now you lock in the ultimate internal compass that guarantees your alignment. Chapter 10. Remove the addiction to struggle. Struggle is seductive. It feels familiar. It feels earned. It feels safe. Yet struggle is not a sign of value. It is a habit. It is a default pattern that signals resistance. It is a rhythm many people unconsciously cling to, believing it proves effort, determination, or worth. It gets to be easy. Many individuals sabotage ease without realizing it. Opportunities arrive. Momentum appears. Support flows. Yet they hesitate. They question. They insert unnecessary friction. It's too good to be true, they think. I must earn this. This is the old identity speaking. The scarcity self celebrates struggle. The abundant self celebrates alignment. It gets to be easy. Ease does not mean laziness. It does not mean weakness. It does not mean entitlement. Ease is alignment. Ease is momentum. Ease is proof that energy is moving in your favor. Imagine a business owner whose first major client arrived without panic, without negotiation drama, without overworking. They paused. They allowed the process. At first, it felt uncomfortable. Their subconscious whispered, I should do more. I should push harder. When they consciously allowed ease, new clients appeared effortlessly. Revenue increased naturally. Stress diminished. Confidence expanded. It gets to be easy. Struggle feels earned because it is habitual. Your nervous system recognizes stress as normal. When calm, abundance, or ease enters, the system resists. Release this habit. Stop rehearsing tension. Stop dramatizing challenge. Stop measuring worth by difficulty. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. Your energy field expands when you remove unnecessary friction. Opportunities accelerate when resistance ceases. Moments of inspiration feel instantaneous rather than forced. It gets to be easy. Athletes know this instinctively. After training for years, they step into competition and allow skill, timing, and coordination to carry them. They do not overthink. They do not struggle against their bodies. They flow. The result is peak performance with minimal perceived effort. Artists experience the same. Inspiration moves through them. The music, the words, the performance flows. Resistance is dropped. Creation becomes natural. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. The addiction to struggle often masquerades as virtue. If it's hard, it's valuable, the mind declares. Yet struggle is a signal, not proof. It signals tension, not alignment. It signals resistance, not progress. It gets to be easy. Consider moments in your own life where things unfolded naturally. Opportunities, relationships, income, or solutions arrived without panic. You may have even tried to complicate them. The results often exceeded expectation. Why? Because energy moves faster when you step out of the way. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. Ease invites guidance. Ease invites synchronicity. Ease invites momentum that feels like magic. Struggle invites friction. Friction slows manifestation. Friction blinds the subconscious to possibility. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. Ease is not passive. It is responsive. It requires attentiveness. It requires trust. It requires alignment with timing, emotion, and action. When I'm taking purposeful action, the energy, the momentum is moving me so much so that it doesn't feel like force. It gets to be easy. Repetition reinforces belief. Repeat this phrase. Anchor it. Embody it. Let it permeate your thoughts, your decisions, your actions. Let it reshape your nervous system. The habit of struggle dissolves when you consistently choose alignment over tension, when you recognize friction as optional, when you allow support without suspicion. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receiving requires permission. Permission requires trust. Permission requires relaxation. Without letting go of struggle, the channel remains partially blocked. Opportunities arrive, but are resisted subconsciously. Momentum is slowed. Flow is interrupted. It gets to be easy. You are allowed to rest into expansion. You are allowed to accept support. You are allowed to be effective without overexertion. You are allowed to witness miracles in real time. Scarcity identity thrives in struggle. Abundance identity thrives in alignment. You cannot do both at the same time. Remove habitual tension. Remove the need to prove worth. Remove unnecessary difficulty. That space becomes fertile. That space becomes magnetic. That space becomes aligned with source energy. It gets to be easy. Practice micro-ease daily. Take a task you would normally overcomplicate. Allow it to unfold naturally. Observe energy. Note how solutions appear. Notice support emerging. Feel momentum. Ease compounds. Momentum compounds. Alignment compounds. It gets to be easy. You decided you are meant for more. You stopped forcing. You rebuilt identity. You trusted the invisible. You raised standards. You mastered your emotional state. You released the old self. You spoke abundance. You built certainty. Now you release struggle and fully embrace effortless flow. Chapter 11. Take bold, aligned action. Alignment alone is not enough. Feeling ready without moving is fantasy. Ideas without execution remain invisible. Vision without steps is a dream deferred. Action transforms potential into reality. Say it decisively. I move when called. Bold action requires courage. Courage does not mean fearlessness. Courage means moving despite fear. Courage means trusting intuition more than logic. Courage means stepping forward when conditions feel imperfect. Alignment signals the path. Energy reveals opportunity. Intuition whispers direction. Yet nothing materializes until your body and mind move in synchrony with that signal. I move when called. Many people wait for perfect timing. They wait for total clarity. They wait for circumstances to feel fully safe. But abundance does not wait for hesitation. Consider entrepreneurs who invested before feeling fully ready. They committed resources. They launched projects. They reached out to networks. They stepped forward without external validation. The results appeared, often faster than they imagined. It is not reckless. It is informed by alignment. The key difference is intention paired with readiness to act. You do not act blindly. You act deliberately. You act decisively. You act in accordance with the signals you feel internally. I move when called. Action amplifies alignment. Momentum is generated by steps, not contemplation. Even small actions create a cascade. A single decision to speak, invest, create, or collaborate multiplies opportunities. Energy recognizes movement. The field responds. Doors open. Guidance becomes tangible. Opportunities become visible. I move when called. Bold action is magnetic. It communicates to the universe that you are serious. It communicates to others that you are ready. It signals to your subconscious that you trust yourself. The combination of clarity and motion accelerates manifestation. Athletes demonstrate this principle. They train meticulously. They visualize repeatedly. They study strategy. But the game is won only when they step onto the field and execute under pressure. Artists feel the same. They rehearse for hours. They meditate on inspiration. They refine every detail. But brilliance emerges when they perform, when they allow energy to flow through action. I move when called. Bold action does not require certainty about every outcome. You do not need to know the exact next step. You do not need to map every possible scenario. You do not need the universe to guarantee success. You simply need to respond when aligned energy calls. Consider a creative professional offered an opportunity that feels slightly beyond current skill or comfort. Logic questions capability. Ego resists exposure. Subconscious fears inadequacy. The aligned response is action. Step forward. Learn. Adjust. Iterate. Accept guidance. Observe results. I move when called. Alignment without action stagnates. The mind generates ideas endlessly, but the body must execute. The heart must commit. The spirit must engage. Bold, aligned action produces clarity. Momentum resolves ambiguity. Steps illuminate opportunity that theory cannot reveal. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. When aligned action occurs, resistance diminishes. When aligned action occurs, energy accelerates. When aligned action occurs, synchronicity becomes visible. I move when called. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receiving requires readiness. Receiving requires courage. Receiving requires steps taken in confidence, even when outcomes are unknown. Bold action teaches the nervous system to trust. It reinforces identity. It proves internally that alignment is active. It bridges invisible intelligence with tangible results. I move when called. Small steps build momentum. Consistent steps stabilize belief. Decisive steps create impact. Even a single choice executed without hesitation strengthens alignment. The combination of preparation, clarity, and decisive execution multiplies results exponentially. I move when called. Fear will always signal. Excitement will always signal. Intuition will always signal. You respond by moving when called, not by analyzing until opportunity passes. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. Bold, aligned action is proof of internal authority. It communicates readiness, stability, and magnetism. It transforms alignment into reality. It manifests vision into existence. It allows the invisible to show up tangibly. I move when called. You have decided you are meant for more. You have released force. You have rebuilt identity. You have trusted the invisible. You have elevated your standards. You have mastered your emotional state. You have let go of the old self. You have spoken abundance. You have built certainty. You have removed struggle. Now you integrate alignment into motion. Every thought, every feeling, every intention translates into action. Every aligned impulse becomes an opportunity seized. Momentum becomes natural. Energy becomes tangible. Expansion becomes inevitable. Chapter 12. Expect miracles daily. Expectation is a powerful signal. It tunes the mind, the heart, and the energy field to possibility. It sets a frequency that aligns reality with your vision. Miracles find me. Your daily anticipation shapes the way the universe responds. Not casually, not occasionally, consistently. When you expect miracles, you no longer see obstacles as barriers. You see them as invitations. You see delays as refinement. You see coincidences as guidance. Miracles find me. Many people underestimate the effect of expectation. They wait passively, hoping life will shift. They desire outcomes, but do not anticipate them fully. They leave alignment incomplete. Expectation is the missing ingredient. It turns passive wishing into active invitation. It prepares your nervous system to recognize opportunities that previously went unnoticed. Miracles find me. Consider those who write daily miracle lists. They note what would excite them, what would delight them, what would feel extraordinary in their lives. Not abstractly, not vaguely, specifically. They list experiences, synchronicities, and tangible results. Within days or weeks, the universe begins to respond. Meetings arrive at the right time. Conversations bring insight. Money, connections, and solutions appear unexpectedly. The reason is simple: expectation calibrates outcomes. When you train your mind to anticipate miracles, your subconscious scans for patterns that match that expectation. Opportunities that once passed unnoticed now appear meaningful. Guidance that once seemed coincidental now feels intentional. Miracles find me. Athletes anticipate moments of peak performance before stepping onto the field. They visualize victory, flow, and effortless success. The body and mind respond to the expectation, producing results beyond what logic could calculate. Artists expect inspiration. They show up, believing that genius will reveal itself. Synchronicities, ideas, and perfect timing align. Expectation is not wishful thinking. It is a signal to the universe, a calibration of energy, and a declaration of trust. Miracles find me. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. When you live in expectation, your energy field radiates confidence, openness, and alignment. People, situations, and resources respond accordingly. The invisible becomes visible. Possibility becomes probability. Miracles find me. This does not require grand gestures or elaborate rituals. It requires consistent, intentional anticipation. You may write your list, speak your gratitude, and feel the excitement in your body. Each day, you reinforce the expectation. Each day, the nervous system adjusts. Each day, the universe responds. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receivers anticipate abundance before it arrives. They notice the small miracles. They celebrate synchronicities. They act in accordance with signs, guidance, and intuitive nudges. Miracles find me. Expectation removes resistance. Doubt clouds perception. Fear blocks alignment. Hesitation interrupts flow. When expectation dominates, the mind becomes a magnet, drawing events that reflect anticipation and belief. Your subconscious recognizes signals more quickly. Your decisions become sharper. Your creativity becomes expansive. Your energy resonates with momentum rather than friction. Miracles find me. Even minor events compound. Small signs lead to larger opportunities. Conversations lead to partnerships. Ideas lead to breakthroughs. Timing aligns with perfect precision. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. Miracles find me. Imagine waking each morning believing the extraordinary is already unfolding. You anticipate opportunity, insight, and abundance in every interaction. You watch the world with curiosity rather than skepticism. You interpret coincidences as direction rather than chance. Every day, miracles show up. Every day, synchronicities guide action. Every day, unexpected assistance appears. You begin to notice patterns. You begin to recognize invisible orchestration. You begin to trust the unseen. Miracles find me. Expectation creates receptivity. It clears doubt. It signals to your energy system and to the field that you are ready to receive. This amplifies the law of attraction. It accelerates manifestation. It stabilizes momentum. Effortless, easy manifestation lies in your ability to trust spirit. My heart is so open to the game. I'm in the frequency to receive the perfect action. Miracles find me. You have decided you are meant for more. You have released force. You have rebuilt identity. You have trusted the invisible. You have elevated your standards. You have mastered your emotional state. You have let go of the old self. You have spoken abundance. You have built certainty. You have removed struggle. You have taken bold, aligned action. Now you live each day anticipating miracles. Each expectation reinforces alignment. Each expectation attracts opportunity. Each expectation shapes reality. Miracles find me. With this mindset, abundance is no longer theoretical. It is experienced. It is tangible. It is natural. You are now prepared to accelerate this expansion to its fullest expression. Chapter 13. Protect your energy ruthlessly. Energy is your currency. Every thought, word, and interaction either invests or depletes it. Abundance cannot flow through leaks. Your attention is valuable. Your focus is vital. Your time is finite. Say it firmly. My energy is sacred. Energy leaks destroy abundance. They appear as toxic relationships, unnecessary obligations, negative environments, and draining conversations. They sap vitality, cloud judgment, and slow momentum. They create friction where there could be flow. My energy is sacred. Many people unconsciously donate their power. They say yes when they mean no. They entertain doubt in others. They tolerate drama that does not serve them. They invest attention into distractions rather than expansion. When energy is scattered, manifestation slows. Alignment is diluted. Momentum is compromised. My energy is sacred. Consider the professional who cut contact with chronically pessimistic colleagues. At first, guilt and doubt appeared, but within weeks, clarity increased. Opportunities that were previously ignored became obvious. Projects accelerated. Income expanded. Energy flowed uninterrupted. Energy responds to boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish. They are essential. They are signals that you value your vibration and your alignment. My energy is sacred. Protecting energy means choosing what you allow into your mind, body, and spirit. It means curating relationships that lift you. It means engaging in work that excites you. It means consuming media and information that expands rather than constricts. It means saying no without hesitation to distractions disguised as obligations. My energy is sacred. Athletes protect energy by managing routines, rest, nutrition, and focus. Artists guard inspiration by eliminating interruptions, overcommitments, and energy drains. Executives who understand leverage protect attention as fiercely as money, knowing the results depend on it. Every choice communicates value. Every yes or no informs your vibration. Energy is the soil from which abundance grows. If soil is depleted, nothing thrives. If soil is rich, growth is inevitable. My energy is sacred. This principle applies to mental energy as well. Negative self-talk, doubt, comparison, and regret all consume bandwidth. When you allow these patterns, progress slows. When you protect your inner dialogue, you free capacity for creation. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. Guard your energy from forces that do not serve. Learn to distinguish between productive challenge and unnecessary friction. One inspires growth. The other distracts and depletes. My energy is sacred. Physical spaces also influence energy. Work environments, living spaces, and personal sanctuaries either reinforce clarity or drain momentum. Clean, organized, and intentional surroundings enhance focus. Chaos, clutter, and disorder divert power. My energy is sacred. Protecting energy requires courage. It can be uncomfortable to step away from long-standing commitments, family dynamics, or social pressures. Yet alignment demands decisiveness. Momentum accelerates when energy is preserved. Opportunities appear when attention is concentrated. Creativity expands when distractions are minimized. My energy is sacred. Boundaries amplify abundance. They tell the universe, I am serious about receiving. I am serious about expansion. I am serious about alignment. Energy leaks are often invisible. They can be subtle, appearing as guilt, obligation, or habitual interference. Awareness is the first step. Conscious action is the next. My energy is sacred. Practice auditing your attention. Ask yourself, does this conversation, environment, or thought support my growth? Does it elevate my vibration? Does it align with the life I am creating? If the answer is no, redirect, release, or remove. My energy is sacred. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receiving requires energy. Receiving requires availability. Receiving requires that your vibration remain intact, unfragmented, and focused on expansion rather than depletion. My energy is sacred. Even small shifts compound. A phone call avoided, a meeting skipped, a mental boundary respected. Each preserves vitality. Each frees bandwidth for action, alignment, and manifestation. Energy conservation becomes magnetic. Momentum flows faster when the field is protected. Ideas are clearer. Decisions are sharper. Synchronicities appear with greater frequency. My energy is sacred. Every choice communicates value. How you spend time, who you spend it with, and how you respond internally. Your energy is the soil from which miracles, abundance, and alignment grow. Protect it fiercely. Protect it intentionally. Protect it ruthlessly. You have decided you are meant for more. You have stopped forcing. You have rebuilt identity. You have trusted the invisible. You have raised standards. You have mastered your emotional state. You have let go of the old self. You have spoken abundance. You have built certainty. You have removed struggle. You have taken bold, aligned action. You have expected miracles daily. Now you defend your vibration with unwavering discipline. My energy is sacred. Chapter 14. Normalize receiving. Receiving is a skill. It is not passive. It is not weak. It is a statement of alignment. Many people can give. Few can receive. Generosity flows naturally outward, yet allowing it inward often triggers hesitation. Compliments are deflected. Opportunities are doubted. Gifts are rationalized away. I receive fully. Receiving is a declaration. I am worthy. I am open. I am ready. When you resist, energy stalls. Momentum slows. Synchronicities remain unseen. Opportunities pass unnoticed. I receive fully. Consider the person who deflects compliments. Oh, it was nothing. Anyone could have done it. I didn't really try. These statements sound humble, but underneath, they block energy. They deny worth. They prevent the vibration of abundance from settling in. I receive fully. Receiving requires permission. Permission to accept support. Permission to accept recognition. Permission to accept abundance in all forms. Without permission, the channel closes. With permission, energy flows freely. I receive fully. Children model receiving perfectly. They ask without hesitation. They take what is offered with delight. They do not debate their worthiness. As adults, we learn restraint, self-criticism, or doubt. We question whether we deserve. We weigh the cost. Receiving is not selfish. It is alignment. It is the acknowledgement that the universe is abundant and wants to support you. I receive fully. Athletes receive applause. They absorb admiration. They allow celebration. This fuels performance rather than inflating ego. Artists receive attention. They accept praise. They take in energy from audiences. This expands creativity rather than creating resistance. You are dealing with limitless potential. You're dealing with limitless energy. Receiving is not about taking from others. It is about allowing energy to move through you. Opportunities, ideas, support, and abundance require your internal permission to arrive fully. I receive fully. When someone offers help, accepting does not indicate weakness. It indicates alignment. When money, gifts, or resources flow, accepting does not indicate greed. It indicates readiness. When guidance, insight, or mentorship arrives, receiving does not indicate dependency. It indicates openness. I receive fully. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receiving accelerates manifestation. Receiving amplifies alignment. Receiving expands your field. Energy multiplies when it is allowed to circulate freely. When you receive, you complete the energetic loop. You honor the flow of giving and receiving. You solidify trust in the universe. I receive fully. Resistance to receiving often comes from the old identity. Scarcity taught, you must earn everything. You must prove yourself. Abundance teaches, you are worthy. You are aligned. You are ready. The shift is internal. The moment you allow yourself to receive without guilt, hesitation, or deflection, energy recognizes permission and responds immediately. I receive fully. Small daily practices reinforce this. Accept compliments without qualification. Say yes to support when aligned. Allow opportunities without overthinking. Receive gifts with gratitude rather than apology. Even minimal allowance strengthens the channel. Even tiny openings multiply over time. I receive fully. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. Receiving is part of mastery. It balances giving, action, faith, and alignment. Receiving is essential to sustaining abundance. Receiving completes the cycle. When you normalize receiving, life becomes easier, lighter, and more expansive. I receive fully. You have decided you are meant for more. You have stopped forcing. You have rebuilt identity. You have trusted the invisible. You have raised standards. You have mastered your emotional state. You have let go of the old self. You have spoken abundance. You have built certainty. You have removed struggle. You have taken bold, aligned action. You have expected miracles daily. You have protected your energy. Now you allow life to flow through you without restriction. Chapter 15. Live as if it is already done. Manifestation is not only about thinking. It is about being. It is about embodying the reality you desire before it appears externally. It is not waiting for confirmation. It is declaring presence. It is already mine. The future you exists now. Your thoughts, feelings, posture, and actions can align with that version immediately. Acting from your future self signals the subconscious. It programs behavior. It shapes perception. It magnetizes circumstances that match the vibration of already having. It is already mine. Consider the individual who desires a promotion. They do not wait until the title changes. They speak confidently. They behave with authority. They make decisions from the place of leadership. Their team begins to see them as a leader. Opportunities align. Recognition accelerates. Advancement appears. It is already mine. Athletes rehearse winning before the game begins. They move as if victory is inevitable. They prepare, they visualize, they embody the performance. When the moment arrives, execution is effortless. The result mirrors internal alignment. It is already mine. Artists perform as if the audience already celebrates them. They sing, paint, write, or speak with the certainty of mastery. Energy responds to the confidence in their embodiment. The universe mirrors the vibration. It is already mine. Embodiment is not pretend. It is intentional alignment with reality that is already created in the energetic field. Every posture, word, thought, and choice communicates certainty. Every small act of living from that reality accelerates manifestation. I am operating as my highest self. I act from abundance. I move with flow. It is already mine. Your nervous system begins to adapt. Your subconscious recognizes the template. Your behavior matches internal belief. Your actions create ripple effects externally. It is already mine. This principle applies to every area of life. Financial abundance, relationships, health, creativity, influence, and personal growth. When you embody the end result, energy rearranges circumstances to match that state. Fear, doubt, and hesitation dissipate. Momentum becomes natural. Flow replaces friction. It is already mine. Consider small daily practices. Speak as if your ideal reality exists now. Move as if your goals have already manifested. Dress, posture, and tone communicate that you inhabit the next level version of yourself. Every decision made from that perspective reinforces alignment. It is already mine. Even minor behaviors compound. Choosing confidence over fear, gratitude over scarcity, clarity over confusion, decisiveness over hesitation. All these signal the field. Energy responds to identity, not to external proof. It is already mine. Source not only wants me to have this, but it wants me to have this in the highest and the best way possible. Living as if it is done is the ultimate expression of trust. It demonstrates that you believe invisible intelligence is operating perfectly. It communicates to the universe that you are ready to receive. It invites synchronicities. It accelerates alignment. It amplifies momentum. It is already mine. Learn how to become a really good receiver. Receive your desires through presence. Receive through embodiment. Receive by acting as if the outcome is already certain. Every action, thought, and feeling now vibrates with completion. You are not waiting. You are not hoping. You are not negotiating with reality. You are declaring your existence within your desired state. It is already mine. You have decided you are meant for more. You have stopped forcing. You have rebuilt identity. You have trusted the invisible. You have raised standards. You have mastered your emotional state. You have let go of the old self. You have spoken abundance. You have built certainty. You have removed struggle. You have taken bold, aligned action. You have expected miracles daily. You have protected your energy. You have normalized receiving. Now you live fully aligned. Your thoughts, emotions, actions, and energy all declare the reality you desire. Momentum flows naturally. Abundance manifests effortlessly. Opportunities, resources, and miracles accelerate into your experience. It is already mine. You are no longer chasing. You are no longer waiting. You are no longer negotiating with reality. You are fully present in the energetic state of your desired outcome. It is already mine. Embodiment is the final step in mastery. It is the bridge between intention and reality. It is the expression of alignment in every cell, every thought, every action. It is certainty made visible. It is living in harmony with the infinite intelligence that governs energy and opportunity. It is already mine. With this practice, abundance becomes your default. Receiving becomes natural. Flow becomes effortless. Life accelerates. Momentum is constant. You are fully aligned with the highest and best expression of yourself. It is already mine. This is the ultimate embodiment of all the steps you have taken. All lessons integrated. All alignment achieved. All energy purified. All identity rebuilt. All certainty anchored. All resistance removed. All action taken with confidence. All miracles anticipated. All receiving normalized. Now, you live as the person you were always meant to be. It is already mine. In closing, you are not leaving this experience the same person who started it. You now understand that abundance is not random. It is responsive. It responds to identity. It responds to certainty. It responds to emotional mastery. It responds to expectation. You do not chase abundance. You align with it. You do not beg for opportunity. You embody readiness. You do not hope for miracles. You expect them. From this moment forward, you release force. You upgrade your standards. You protect your energy. You speak power. You move boldly. And most importantly, you receive. You receive the money. You receive the love. You receive the expansion. You receive the ease. Because it was always available. You simply decided to align with it. Now here is your challenge. For the next 30 days, live as if abundance is inevitable. Speak as if it is flowing. Act as if it is done. Feel as if it is yours. No more shrinking. No more doubting. No more waiting. Abundance is not coming. It is here. And now so are you.